Everything is all set. Everybody made weight, but how nervous were you coming into this morning?
You know what's weird? I wasn't nervous at all. I know I should have been, but I wasn't. I saw Max a few days ago. Seemed good, so I wasn't nervous at all. Obviously, I was thrilled when I got the call that he made weight, but yeah, wasn't nervous.
I know you're not going to do this before the event, but in your gut, is this Max last fight at 145?
Yeah, no, I'll do it before the fight. Yeah, I said it last fight, and he begged me for this fight because he wants to fight Ortega. So we're here. He made weight, but I don't think he should do it again. No.
Well, he was under, he was 144 and a half. It seemed like he was looking good on the scale.
Right,
I agree. Definitely roll it out?
Yeah, I just, what's the point? He's fought everybody here. He's got the longest win streak in the division's history. I think it's probably time for him to move on to 55.
He was supposed to fight Khabib. It was one of those things where this is going to be a crazy fight. There are so many good matchups for him at 155.
Right.
Is that part of the rationale?
Absolutely. Yeah, he's accomplished everything here if he wins on Saturday. And then, there's a lot of great stuff for him at 55.
Would that be a thing where you automatically just give him a title shot at 55, or would he have to work his way
Yeah,
back?
no. He's a guy who could walk right in and get a title shot. That division's a little jammed up right now, but we'll figure it out.
How about you, Joanna? I mean, she safely made 115 for a while, but she looks so happy. She looks so good at 125. You feel the same way, similar about her?
100%. She looks great. She's in great spirits all week. But she's another one who said the other day at the press conference she wants to go back to 115 and win again. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Moicano was a pound over. Is he going to get paid for showing up?
That's a problem, right? The backup.
Yeah.
Both guys make weight, but the backup doesn't make weight. It's a weird thing. Yeah, he'll definitely get paid. Yeah. He obviously didn't fight. He did everything he needed to do except make weight. But fortunately, he didn't have to make weight. So.
Had he had an opponent, he would have been on weight. He was 146.
Yeah. Yeah. Not if he was fighting for the title.
Right.
Dave, can you clarify the welterweight title situation? It seems right now with Usman and Woodley and maybe Askren is in this now.
Yeah. I like it. Listen, all this time, man, Ben Askren and I have had this thing, man. This guy wants to fight everybody. I love it. I love guys, especially in the 170-pound division. It's a breath of fresh air when you have a guy who wants to fight everybody. I like it. I like his attitude, and I like where his head's at. And a guy like that's going to make it far in this company. So
Usman seems to have the same mentality.
Yeah, he does.
But I'm guessing that this is kind of veiled towards Covington and Woodley, that you're having some issues getting them to agree to certain fights.
Yeah. So you know what happens? The world moves on without you, boys. That's what happens. So we'll see how this thing plays out. Obviously, I got to deal with this down here, and I'll go home Saturday night after the fight, and we'll get this stuff figured out next week.
It's pretty close to a lock that welterweight fight will headline that card in Anaheim?
No.
233.
Not a lock, okay.
Not a lock.
Yeah. Is there a chance that Robbie Lawler could be affected by this, or that fight could be moved around?
I don't know. Robbie Lawler's still recovering from his knee, and can't do anything earlier than the date he has already. So we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. I don't think Robbie Lawler's too concerned with being affected by this thing. The more time he can get, the better.
Is the issue Covington that you just can't get him to nail down the fight?
No, it's Woodley. When is Woodley ready to fight anybody ever? When? Tell me when.
He just fought 3 months ago.
Yeah. And it took us forever to get him to fight that fight. Guy never wants to fight. You want to be a world champion, but you don't want to fight anybody. That's a problem. That's a problem.
Rose has had a very long layoff. What's going on with her?
Who?
Rose.
Yeah, Rose has some issues right now with her neck that she's getting over.
And when do you think, what's the timetable for that?
Probably March.
Yesterday, Gunnar Nelson was the last fighter to speak about the 165 class. Are we ever going to get that?
There is no 165.
No, are we ever going to get that?
No, that was all bullshit. That was never true. That was never real. Never discussed. Never thought about. Never going to happen. Not true. Not true.
Dan, I want to clarify something. I mean, you this week you've talked a couple times about Dan Hardy, or I'm sorry, not Dan Hardy, Greg Hardy, and you said that you had talked to Rachel about it and got her okay. Did you book that fight before you talked to her, or did you talk to her afterwards?
No, so we've been building this ESPN card for a while, and he was one of the guys that we had planned on putting on that card. But no, it wasn't booked.
So what would you have done if she would have
said
that
she came off the card?
What would you have done if she would have said she wasn't okay with it?
I'm not going to talk about Greg Hardy anymore. I already covered this. I'm not playing this bullshit with you guys. He's on the UFC roster. He's on the UFC roster. Period. End of story.
Yeah, do you mind if I just ask one final question on that topic?
Yeah.
A lot of people, I think, are just curious as to why. It's almost
he's
like
on the roster. Listen, you guys want to be sensitive about shit. Anybody can be sensitive about anything. You can make an issue about everything. The weird thing is that you guys give a fuck, but she doesn't.
I guess
she doesn't care. You know what she said yesterday in her statement? Please stop asking me about this. I want to focus on training. I don't want this to be an issue for me. I don't know this guy. This guy has nothing to do with me. I have nothing to do with this guy. This guy's never done anything to me. This isn't an issue. You, and a lot of other people.
I didn't ask anything today.
Yeah. Your hero, and a lot of other people are making this an issue. It's not an issue for her. She doesn't have an issue with this. She actually doesn't want to talk about it anymore. And she asked you yesterday, please, I don't want to talk about this anymore. I want to move on with my training and focus on that.
Yeah, and I said from the 10th island to the 8th island.
That's it. So if you guys want to keep bringing this up and making it an issue, you can. And I get it. It probably gets hits, and it probably does well for you guys. I get it. But she doesn't want to talk about it anymore. So that's the end of the story. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. I'm done. Don't make me leave.
We'll go from a heavyweight.
I'm done with it.
We'll go from heavyweight to flyweight.
All right.
So we've got TJ and Cejudo's in Brooklyn, but we also have Benavidez and Figueiredo, and that's after that. That's in Anaheim. Is there a chance that gets moved back to Brooklyn in the event that we're not going forward with the flyweight?
Say that again?
So Figueiredo and Benavidez are fighting at flyweight, but they're fighting after Cejudo and Dillashaw. Could that potentially be the last flyweight fight, or are you thinking of moving them back to Brooklyn?
That's the other thing that's fascinating now. Everybody wants to talk about the flyweights when nobody gave a shit about the flyweights before.
We have a new champion.
The flyweights have never been more popular now that there's a possibility that the flyweights might go away. Now, if I end up keeping this division and it sticks around, you guys better ask me just as many fucking questions about the flyweights if they come back, okay? This is awesome. They're very popular right now. It's amazing. It's incredible.
Are you feeling better about the Khabib and Conor situation? I know that they had this hearing coming up. Now it's getting delayed. It seems like they're trying to hammer out some kind of deal.
It was delayed?
Well,
Conor got a continuance.
Conor's got a continuance. Okay. It doesn't seem like they're going to deal with Khabib. Are they trying to hammer out a deal that's going to be favorable versus where you were when the fight ended?
I have no idea what they're going to do. They're going to do whatever they're going to do. And I would imagine that they're going to come out and they're going to try to make a statement so that nobody jumps over the octagon. Yeah, of course I do. There's no deal going to be made or nothing's going to be hammered out. There's going to be suspensions and fines.
But to me, a statement is like a 1 year for Khabib. That's a statement,
okay.
Right? Or at least 6 months. That's what you're still expecting.
I don't know what to expect. I honestly don't know what we're going to walk into.
Dana, real quick, to revisit the Tyron Woodley thing just real quickly, I feel like we've seen this kind of play out before, and so, you've said that he doesn't want to fight, and then he's probably going to come out at some point and say, well, this is,
he just came out on his real job, TMZ, and said that that he was looking for February or something like that, and we said no. And we never said no. Listen, when Tyron Woodley wants to fight, we don't say no. So that wasn't true, and if you notice, TMZ took that clip down because that wasn't true. It was absolutely not true, and they took it down. What's going to happen is now these interviews are going to come out, and he's going to get all pissed off. This guy doesn't respect me, and he doesn't do this and that and all that shit, and that's what's going to happen now. And then me and Woodley are going to go at it again, and then we'll see when the guy ends up fighting. I mean, it's like Groundhog Day. That's what happens every single time.
Anaheim is 1,000% not a possibility for him, though.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think so. His thumb is hurt.
What's actually available for Anaheim then? Because it seems like all the titles are booked.
I know, right? I will get that figured out as soon as I get back on Tuesday. On Saturday, but we do it on Tuesday. So Tuesday is the matchmaking meeting, and I'll get that worked out. But I always have something up my sleeve. I mean, I always deliver.
Heavyweight's available. I mean, Daniel, I know he just recently fought in November, but
he's hurt.
He's hurt. Okay.
He's hurt.
And what's the deal with Brock Lesnar? Is he coming back before the retirement?
I don't know. So one of the guys that I met with yesterday during PR told me that he had heard that Brock Lesnar just signed a bunch of new WWE deals.
Yeah, that's the case. Yeah, he signed, I guess, an extension. But does that preclude him from fighting in the UFC?
No, it doesn't. It does not. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
you always say that it's not all that uncommon that you and Brock don't talk for a while, but then on a week like this where we're all asking about him, you can't just pick up the phone and call him? Or like, what is your relationship with Brock? How often?
Well, yeah, no, I got shit to do this week. I'm not I'm not focused on Brock Lesnar this week. You know what I mean? If I needed to talk to Brock, I'd pick him up and call him when I needed to. But what are you saying? Because you're asking me these questions, I should call Brock and see what's going on?
Well, I guess when will you call Brock to try to figure out
I don't
exactly
know.
what's going on?
Daniel Cormier's hurt, so it doesn't matter right now. If you guys knew how much shit that I have to do in a day, okay? I'm not working on stuff that I need to work on later. I'm working on stuff that needs to be done now. So, Daniel's hurt. He's out for a while. I don't know what Brock's doing, but as Daniel starts to get better and we start looking at dates that Cormier might defend his title, I'll be calling Brock or somebody at 205 because Daniel told me he still wants to fight at 205. He wants to fight there. So we'll see.
Just for clarification, when you say moving on without Woodley and without Covington, are you talking about a new undisputed champion potentially?
I'm not talking about anything. I'm just saying fights will continue to happen. Whether you fight or don't fight, we're going to roll on.
Is Woodley healthy right now?
Woodley's thumb is,
Yeah. Is hurt
something
or
wrong
is-
with his thumb.
Okay. The way you say that, you don't believe him?
No, I believe him. Remember when Conor said, you have to understand, I know guys like Conor McGregor, and I know all the guys that behind the scenes. Don't you guys remember the thing when Conor McGregor said, who needs a thumb? You don't even need a thumb to fight. And Conor fought with so many injuries that it's ridiculous. And even times that Conor doesn't say it publicly. You know what I mean? So when you're used to dealing with guys like that, you got a guy with a thumb, it's just it's not just one thing. It's always something with Woodley. So yeah.
Then I'm so sorry I lost the beginning of the Scrum. So I'm curious about Renato Moicano. So what happened this morning is gonna set him back a little bit?
He missed by a pound, but he's going to get paid, and he showed up and did what he needed to do. Thank God he didn't need to make the weight, but he did. The guy cut weight and he did his thing, and we'll take care of him.
So about Holloway, how worried you were in the morning about he's going to the scale?
I wasn't worried. I should have been, but I wasn't, and but obviously I was very happy when I got the call that he had made the weight.
Can I have a little guess about this fight between Valentina and Joanna?
What about the fight?
Yes.
I love this fight, and both these fights, the co-main event and main event, are for the absolute best in the world fighting when they should be. It's awesome.
Is this like a renaissance period for female MMA? Like you got this fight, you got Nunes, Cyborg. Like these are two of the biggest fights ever.
It's true. But at the end of the day, that's what we always try to do. We always try to do the best against the best when the best should be fighting each other. So it worked out.
Then one more question about Moicano. You said he's going to get paid, but he's going to be the next in line for the title shot?
I have no idea. That I don't know. I have no idea who will be next or what's going to happen next. We'll see what happens Saturday, and does Holloway go to 55? And there's a lot of things that I can't answer that question.
Dana, I guess absolute last question on this one. Just do you have a message though for domestic abuse survivors who are put off by just Greg Hardy being?
No, nobody's been put off by it.
Well, I think a lot of domestic
listen to me.
abuse survivors.
Do you know how many people have contacted me?
You
like 3. Like him,
I think in general,
one other guy, and some other guy. Those are the 3. Who's put off by it?
We definitely see it on social media.
Oh yeah, because social media is where you go to find out where the real people are talking about real stuff, and what real people really care about is on social media.
So,
is that true? Is that what you're saying?
I would just say I've seen domestic abuse survivors say that they're put off by it, and so I would say, do you have a message for them just in case for any of this?
Do you guys have any other questions for me?
Good.
Huh?
I'm good.
You good? Okay. You good? Okay.